dito na.
Okay, hala. Nakakapagod. Hilute. Shit. Pagod.
Sí. Lima. Idarap to. Lalay mo lang ba sa gapang sa tanta? Araw mamuti ba bisikleta ng Rimal di so. Apa pang sih. Kunting tiis na lang, malapit na. Malapit na, kunti na lang ate, kaya nyo yan. Kunting tiis na lang. Sige te, kaya yan. Konting-konti na lang. Matatapos na rin yan. Tingnan yung oras nyo te ah. Oo. Ah,
30 over in the Philippines. So we're now live. Okay, so good evening, everybody. I'd like to welcome everybody back to PinoyAthletics Track Talk. Tonight it's Speed Talk Sunday. It's been a while as I've had a cold, so unfortunately the athletic community has missed out on about a week worth of updates and news. So I'm now just having a catch up on Sunday, basically for this weekend, last week's news. Tonight we will be interviewing Lany Cardona. How do I say your surname? Is it
Adaog.
Adaoag? And she was the winner of the PinoyAthletics Talking Chinoy 5,000 meter event for women, the virtual event. It had around, I think, 15 to 20 entries in it. We'll be discussing running with Lany, and after that we will have a whole load of other things to discuss in regards to sports news and virtual events. So we'll start off with Jerix. Perhaps you want to ask the first question, and then I maybe can go next.
Lany, bigyan mo naman kami ng konting background. Paano ka nagsimula sa running? Gaano ka bata nung time na yan?
Nagsimula ako ng 2002, elementary pa lang ako. Unang takbo ko 2002, pasok agad ako ng Batang Pinoy. Tapos after nun, tuloy na hanggang college. Nagpalarong pambansa din ako hanggang sa nag-college na rin, libreng pag-aaral sa college. Tapos hanggang sa nakapag-asawa, naglalaro pa rin hanggang ngayon. Pero nagsimula akong pagtakbo yung nabasa ko yung sa newspaper, yung pangalan ko na nakakapaglaro ako ng ibang bansa. Yun, doon ko nagporsige mag-training hanggang sa na-discover rin ako ng coach ko noon na pwede akong kasi nung time na sobrang liit ko, pero natatalo ko yung mga lalaking kasama kong tumatakbo. Pero paapa lang ako noon hanggang sa nasanay na rin magsapatos sa oval.
Okay. And so Lany said that she started at a young age in elementary and until college, and even if she's married now and having a baby, she still runs. So she started her very first stint in competition. She went all the way to Batang Pinoy. What year was that, Lany?
Palawan ba? 12 years old o 11 years old. Sa Palawan po yun, sir.
Okay.
And when you first went to Batang Pinoy as an 11-year-old, what event did you participate in? Because I can imagine 11-year-olds probably don't have a 5,000 meter run at that age. So what event did you join in the 2002 Batang Pinoy?
Lany, ano yung sinalihan mo na distance dun sa Batang Pinoy no sumali ka?
800 meter, 1.5 po, sir. 800 o 1.5 po, sir.
Okay. She has two events, 800 and 1,500. Did you get a podium finish, Batang Pinoy, during that time?
Natalo po ako, sir.
Okay.
Top 7.
Did she join the
And
Palarong?
nagpalarong pambansa ka ba, Lany?
Yes po, sa hindi ko na maalala pero ano po, ang naalala ko po sir yung Cotabato, huli kong palarong pambansa, 2007, palarong pambansa. Saka Philippine Olympic Festival, vegan sir.
So she said that what she remembered is he participated in the South Cotabato Palarong Pambansa and the Philippine National Games held in Bigan.
Philippine
Is that right, Lany?
Festival. Philippine
Philippine
Olympic
Festival. Okay.
2007.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead, Jerix.
Okay. We chatted. I chatted with Lany last time, and she said that she participated in one of your events, 2007, Lany. The events organized by Enzo. Is that right?
Wouldn't be as far back as 2007 because I think 2007, 2014. Because 2007, I'm not organising.
2007.
It wouldn't be 2007 because in 2007 I wasn't even in the Philippines at that time. It must have been maybe 2014 during the weekly relays. Because in 2007 I wasn't even involved with Philippine Athletics in 2007 as in any capacity at that point. It would have been maybe 2014, I think. Because question: you have how many kids? 1, 2, or more at the moment, and how does training? How do you fit in the training around being a mum?
Lany, yung anak mo ngayon at paano yung training mo? Di ba may inaalagaan kang anak ngayon? At saka ilang taon na yung anak mo ngayon?
Dalawa na po yung anak ko sir, 8 at going 8, going 2. Time management lang po sir, umaga, minsan hapon po. Pero everyday po akong nagtitraining, wala po akong rest.
So she still finds time training morning and evening, even if she's busy with her 2 children, 7 years old, right, and 3-year-old.
Are they into sports? The children, are they into sports as well, or?
Yung anak mo ba, Lany, nagpapakita na ng interest ngayon para sa sports o wala pa?
Wala pa. Medyo focus siya sa sa pag-aaral.
Oh, the kids are still focused in studies.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so they're just very young to get involved in physical activity at this point. Okay. The next question is, so obviously Lany has been on the running scene for a very long time. Probably the best part of a decade now. So as one of the more established runners in the Philippines, who does she like to, or who does Lany like competing against the most? Which female athlete does Lany enjoy, running against the most out of all the Philippine women runners at the moment?
Sino sa mga nakakalaban mo, sa mga veterano na ng mga atleta natin dito sa Pilipinas nandun palagi yung you're interested, yung interesado ka palagi nakakalaban sila?
Si Ate Cristabel, tapos si Ate Joan Banayag. Kasi super, super, sila, humble na, na player. Kaya, yun, medyo, ako sa sa dalawa ko pong iniidolo, si Ate Chris Abel, tapos sa medyo, ganayan. Medyo, po ako.
So she idolizes Cristabel Martes and Joanne
Banayan.
Banayan.
So yeah, two much older athletes who also, were both, SEA Games champion in the women's marathon during the peak of their careers. Martez was a two-time SEA Games champion. Adaoag was a one times, I think 2009 or 2007, she was the SEA Games champion in the women's marathon. Both between them, they probably have around, I don't know, maybe about 6 to 8 Milo marathon titles between the two of them. So very well established, old athletes and who are still active at the moment. And I believe Martez has now gone into coaching. So next question is regarding the virtual 5,000 meter event. Was Lany expecting to win the event, or who did she expect was going to be giving her the strongest challenge in the 5,000 meter event out of those 15 to 20 women that were entered?
Lany, in-expect mo ba na manalo ka dito sa competition sa 5,000 meter? Sino yung sa tingin mo yung pinakamalakas mong kalaban going into the competition?
Sa totoo lang, sir, hindi. Kasi ang balak ko talaga salin pusa lang. Wala nga akong balak sumama dahil hindi ako marunong din sa Strava. Diba, nangungulit ako sa isip kung paano gamitin yun. Pero dahil din sa group natin, kaya ako siya na gusto akong sumama. Pero pinakatakot ako sa yung si Ate Nian po. Kasi alam kong siya ang isa sa pinakamalakas sa sa mga runner.
Okay. At first, she was hesitant to join the competition because she doesn't choose Strava, and we help her download the Strava, and she asked us that from time to time how she will be doing that, connecting her Garmin to the Strava app. And among the participants that joined the event, she said that Nayan was the strongest, and she doesn't even expect to win in the competition.
It was interesting because Lany's winning time was 19 minutes 13. Nayan managed to run in the Manila Bay. She ran 19:12, which was 1 second faster than what Lany ended up running. But like Nayan's time unfortunately had a minus one elevation, which meant that she had to rerun the event. And obviously from the traveling, she ended up with a time of 20 minutes 24 and taking the second place in the event because she had to rerun. So next question is, ladies also entered in the 3,000 meter event on February the 19th, which is being organized by Jason Perio and a distance runner from Iloilo, along with the Iloilo running community. This is basically probably a shorter event than what Lany usually runs. And this event in the women's now has around 50 entries. So how does Lany feel 3,000 meters and the other people participating in that event?
Enzo?
Yeah. I'll just repeat that one. So my
Yes.
question is, Lany has entered in the 3,000 meter event, virtual event on February the 19th. We received her entry, to compete in that. Obviously, the 3,000 meters is a shorter event than Lany usually participates in. So, how does she feel about her chances in the 3,000 meter event, and the fact that she will be up against 14 other women from around different parts of the Philippines, much the same as the 5,000?
Lani, ano yung nakita mong chance mo dito para manalo dito sa 3,000 meters? Considering na shorter yung distance compared to the 5,000 meters na sinalihan mo 2 weeks ago.
Yung ito po kung ano, nung susunod na virtual po, sir?
Yes, sa February 9.
19.
Mahirap. Medyo mahirap po yung tricky ngayon, sir, kasi yung sobrang iksi, masakit sa sa dibdib. Mas mahirap yung tricky kaysa yung 5 pistol. Mas challenge pa ngayon. Kasi maraming mga bata po ang mas malalakas sa tricky kaysa sa 5 pistol. Kaya medyo challenge siya sa akin. Baka hindi ko ako makakapasok ng top 3 yun ng baka top lang po ako, baka top 10 po. sobrang po kasi, sobrang challenge. Parang sa, siya sir, parang 800 siya takbuhin pagdating sa oval. Kaya sobrang challenge yung tricky ngayon susunod na virtual.
Yeah, it will be a challenging event for her, considering that there are a lot of younger participants in the event.
So my guess is, if you don't mind me asking, I'm guessing Lany is around 29 or 28.
30 Lany,
30.
your age?
30.
Turning 30 or already? Okay, so yeah, because I mean, for example, in the women's 5,000 meter event, Lany was able to finish ahead of 16-year-old Leslie De Lima, who's the Polar Bunsen champion in the 1,500 and the 3,000. So De Lima finished third in the 3,000 event behind in the end in the 5,000. Jerix, would you have any questions?
Yes, Lany, since matagal ka na sa running, ano yung mga pinaka-memorable sa'yo na mga panalo mo? So, Lany, what was your most memorable wins dito sa Pilipinas, in the Philippines and outside the country?
Yung 2009 National Officer, lead ng Lingayen, Pangasinan. Hindi ko po, 4 gold po ata ako dun o 5 gold. At saka sa Thailand, dito lang po, nag-champion ako ng 42 kilometers. Yun lang po.
During the event in Lingayen, what event again? Philippine National Open?
Open, 2009.
She bagged many golds, 5?
4 or 5. Hindi ko naman alam.
And she also won in Thailand and Vietnam
Which
for the
competition?
marathon.
Was that the 7-Eleven run, or which competitions?
Phuket, Thailand International Marathon. Tapos Danang, Vietnam International Marathon.
What event did she join in what distance did she run there?
Marathon distance.
42K or half 42. What's her best time in the marathon?
Best 3:17.
Okay. Sorry, Jerix, back to your questions.
Lany, ano yung nakikita mo pa na since sabi mo 30 years old ka na ngayon and you have 2 kids, what are your plans sa running career mo?
Continue pa rin yung pagtatakbo, sir, hanggang kaya, hanggang hindi pa expired. Tutuloy pa rin. Hanggang kaya pa ng katawan. Pero pag normal na po, meron na pong face-to-face na klase, tutulong po ako ulit sa high school dito sa amin para magturo po ulit ng libre lang po. Para ma-share lang din po yung natutunan ko sa pagtakbo mula nag-start po ako. Kasi ginagawa ko po siya nung meron pa pong face-to-face. Meron din po ako mga player dito sa amin. Pagpapatuloy ko yung pagtakbo na po.
She will still run until she still has the strength. Is that right, Lany? And when face-to-face classes starts again, like what she's doing before, she has some children, athletes under her fold, and she's coaching them.
But she's coaching distance running or which event?
Lany, what events are you coaching? Ano yung events na kino-coach mo sa mga bata?
Long, middle, long, tapos walkathon, sir. Pero sa lahat na rin po, parang may group po kami dito na tumutulong sa mga high school, elementary po dito sa amin. Kami po focus lahat po ng event. Humihingi lang din po ako ng tips sa mga kakilala kong coach para maging tama, tapos kumukuha sa Google para lang ma-share ko yung tamang pag-training. Pero ang pinupokus ko po talaga, long, middle, tapos walkathon po. First time ko pong nag-coach ng walkathon, nagturo po ng walkathon na R1EE ko po siya, tapos meron sana, may kunting pag-asa na magpalaro po sana, kaso hindi natuloy dahil doon sa pandemic nga po, sir.
She's coaching middle and long distance runners and also walkathon, right? And she has one athlete that won the Region 1 Athletic Association. That's and is that she or he is qualified already for the Palarong Pambansa, but due to the pandemic, it was cancelled.
Okay. So with coaching athletes, from what age range are you coaching? Starting at what age are the kids?
Ano daw yung edad ng mga tinuturuan mo, Lany?
Po, 11 hanggang 17 po. 11 years old to 18 years old. High school, elementary po, sir.
So her athlete that won the gold in the regional meet for Region 1, what was it? What category was it in, and what event? Like, was it Ellen girls, Ellen boys, secondary girls, secondary boys, and which event?
It's a walkathon. Ano yung elementary? Is that elementary or high school?
High school, sir.
High school. Secondary
po, boys po.
It's actually good that we get more coaches in the Philippines coaching the walkathon events as well, because the walkathon event is a new event which is recently introduced to the Palarong Pambansa. I think if I'm not mistaken, I think it might have been 2016 or 2015. It was introduced about 5 or 6 years ago. It didn't used to be part of the Palarong Pambansa program. There are very few coaches in the Philippines that know how to coach walks. It's one of those events which has fewer coaches, like, for example, probably the walks and the pole vault are the events which have hardly any coaches. I mean, to be honest, in the Philippines, the number of walks and pole vault coaches in the Philippines are probably less than the number of fingers on one of my hands. So the fact is, obviously, Lany must learn a lot from her coach, Saturnino Salazar, regarding coaching of walkathon events, because he is, in my view, a reservoir of knowledge when it comes to the walkathon event. Perhaps, Jarrett, you can ask Lany how long she's been working, been coached now by Coach Salazar, and what she learned from working with Coach Salazar.
Lany, gaano ka nakatagal kinoach? Gaano ka katagal kinoach ni Coach Salazar at ano yung mga importanteng natutunan mo sa kanya?
Nagsimula 2018, sir. Mga 3 years na po ngayon.
So it's been 3 years. Ano yung importanteng natutunan mo? What are the important lessons that he imparted to you? Ano yung natutunan mo?
Ano po, yung kalakasan, yung katakasan, sir, hindi siya pinanganak ng malakas, yung kaya mo siyang palakasin, yung bata. Yun ang sinasabi niya lagi, hindi ka pinanganak na malakas, kaya pwede kitang palakasin kahit na magsimula ka sa pinakamababa. Yun ang lagi niya pong sinasabi sa akin.
Athletes are not born strong, but tama ba, Lany? Through guidance of a coach, strength can come or can be developed.
Okay, Jarrett, you have more questions?
And Lany, kanino mo, kumbaga, sa tagal mong tumatakbo na, for a long time, you've been running, what inspires you? Ano yung nagiging inspirasyon mo upang i-achieve yung mga goals mo sa run?
Ano po, sa magulang ko po. Kaya ako siya kino-continue dahil sa magulang ko. Kasi ako yung isa na tumutulong po sa magulang ko. Kaya ako siya gustong ipagpatuloy kahit na may asawa at anak na ako. Siyempre, pangalawa sa ano po, sa mga anak at asawa ko. Saka sa yung mga baguhan po na baguhan pong mga athlete, dapat doon din po. Para ma-expired, maano rin po sila na kahit na nakapag-asawa na pwede pa rin tumakbo, pwede pa rin ipagpatuloy.
Then, Dan is saying that she draws inspiration from her parents, and she still helps her parents even though she's already married. And second one, her family, her husband and his child. And she also wants to continue running to draw inspirations also to other people, that even though she's already married and she has 2 children, she can still continue her running career.
Okay. Any more questions?
Sino yung mga gusto mong pasalamatan sa yung mga tumulong sa iyo nung nag-start ka pa lang sa running? Sino yung mga unang tumulong sa iyo na hindi mo makakalimutan talaga? When you are starting as an athlete in running, who would you like to thank, or you are most grateful with when you're still starting?
Una po yung coach ko po nung elementary ako, si Coach J. Caranza po. Tapos yung coach ko po nung college po ako, si Mr. Marcelino Doña po. Pero ngayon wala na po siya. Na-pass away na po sa sobrang tanda. At saka yung mga kapwa ko runner, ka-varsity. Tapos yung body kabady training ko po ngayon, si Raymond Gonzalo, dahil sa kanya din po, kaya ako, masipag lagi sa pagtitraining kasi siya yung kasabay ko lagi sa pag-iinsayo, hinihila niya ako. Siyempre yung team ko, Team Titus ko, si Coach Salazar. Siyempre kayo din, sir. Sobrang kulit ko sa inyo. Unlimited na pag-reply. Thank you. Thank you po.
So she would like to thank her elementary coach and her high school coach, and together with his running buddy right now. What's that name again? Raymond
Gonzalo po.
Raymond. And to her team Titus team. Ano yun, Lany? May idadagdag ka pa? Wala na. Okay. And so?
Yep. No, I have no more questions. I sort of used up my questions earlier on for this talk. Just want to say good luck to the 3,000 meters. That's it'll be interesting because we have 15 entries at the moment for Jason. Even though this is not this virtual 3,000 meter event titled "You Just Run," it's not actually a PinoyAthletics event, but we extended support to Jason because we're not currently holding a event for another month, because I'm now focusing more on sprint events because everybody else is doing, these virtual long distance events. So I decided that I will just be focusing on sprint events because no one else is doing that. But it's getting very competitive now for the virtual long distance events. So I decided just to support other virtual long distance organizers to help with the sport. Anyway, that's all I had to ask. I'd just like to thank you for your time and wish you best of luck with all your other events. Oh, by the way, I was going to ask, perhaps Jerix, you could ask this one. Is Lany going to join the Davao Marathon? 4 different events organized by BBG Run H, Roel Adaoag, or Coach Roel Adaoag.
Lany, sasali ka ba sa Davao International Marathon virtual event? Ano yung sasalihan mo distance kung sakali mo?
Kailan yun, sir? Hindi ako updated doon. Anong date po yun, sir?
The event will be held on I think it's March 6 or March 7. That's organized by Coach Roel Adaoag. So if you'd like to join that, you need to contact Coach Roel. The events are 5, 10, half marathon and marathon. Those are the events that he will be hosting. I believe, according to Roel, he got about 1,000 entries already. So it's very, it's
a big event.
It's a big event. Like it's probably because there's no Milo Marathon anymore for this. Yeah, I'm thinking that the last time they had the Milo Marathon was January of last year. So for this half of the year, there's probably no Milo Marathon. So the Davao International Marathon, the virtual event, is probably the biggest event of this half of the year for long distance, I would say. I'm not sure what the prizes are. The prizes must be pretty good because the entry for that is a bit higher, so the prizes would be pretty good. But any inquiries regarding the Davao International Marathon should be relayed through Coach Adaoag, as he has all the details on. Jared, do you have any more questions, or is
None so far. I think I've already used up my questions.
okay? Yeah. So as I said before, as we've finished questions, we just like to thank Lany for her time, and if Lany would like to stay for the rest of the show, it's fine. But if Lany, has kids to put to bed, or like other things she needs to do, it's okay if she would like to leave at this point to attend to other affairs. We're not basically saying that she has to go. I'm just saying that that if she has other things she needs to do, if she would like to leave the chat, then it's fine. It would be fine with us. Maybe you could
Lany,
yeah.
Sir.
okay. All right. Lany, if kung busy ka at medyo marami kang ginagawa, pwede ka nang excuse dito sa ano. Pero kung gusto mo namang manatili pa rin dito, you can have your time with us in our interview with Jason.
Mag-leave na po ako, sir. Nakain mo kasi.
Okay, she will be leaving now as she has not yet finished eating. She has just finished cooking when we have.
Why, we could be going for another hour. That's why I'm just saying that
Yes.
Lady may, need to have something to eat, or she's got other things.
Yes.
She may need to do. So it's fine if she would like to leave. We're very appreciative of her time, and again, just wishing her good luck for her future races. Okay, so removed Lany from the stream, and now she's left. So yeah, with Jason, I'm gonna have a quick chat with him because he doesn't seem to be able to get a connection. So I'll just be presenting the event. Oh yeah, Jared, also if you have other things you need to do, I can probably take it from here because I really mainly just need more help to translate for Lany because I knew that she'd be more comfortable with Tagalog. But for the rest of, if you need other things you've got to do, then it's cool. You can stick around if you like, but I could be another hour, so I don't really want to waste your time. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So it's up to you. I mean, you've probably got other things you want to do, but you can still tune in if you want to watch the rest of the show. By all means, it's fine. But like I'm thinking you may have other things you need to do as well.
Yeah.
Okay, but thank you very much for your time, and good luck with training and your goals of getting your your 5,000, 10,000 meter, your 10,000 meter time is the next one. I'm guessing. Just good luck with your training goals. Yeah. And
yes, I just like to improve my time, even though I'm already 40, 41. Just to give inspiration also to other people who are already at my age also, that they can still do it and they can still push themselves.
the thing is with with longer events is that an athlete really has a longer shelf life and longer events. I mean, with sprints, you're pretty much almost done by the time you're 30. you know, unless you look after your body really well, and then you could probably squeeze out a few more good years after that. But, you know, most sprinters are done, but, you know, by the time before they turn 30, and very few of them survive, you know, into their 30s. You know, it's all down to diet and that sort of thing. I mean, you know, you'd have a long distance runner or a thrower who's in the team, and they will see, you know, a thrower, a long distance runner in a team, you know, like in the national team or in a team, they're going to see like maybe 3 batches of sprinters rise and fall in their time, because, you know, the sprinter, you've probably got about maybe, you know, 5 years of good sort of competition where you're at your prime, which is usually between the age of 21 to 27. You know, like those are the good years of the sprint career. So, you know, longer distances, I mean, you know, like some long distance runners can run into their 40s. So it's like, you've got a longer shelf life in that event compared to sprints, because sprints is, you know, all about, you know, power and speed, and, you know, even though you still get stronger and you can build endurance as you get older, flexibility and speed diminishes as you get older. So you know, obviously sprints is a event for younger people. And yeah, like, I mean, 41, you're not really that old. I mean, I just turned 37 2 days ago, so I mean, you're only a few years older than me. Okay, so Jerix, I'll just bid you good evening. Thanks very much for translating and providing questions for Lany tonight. Best of luck with breaking that 10K time, and you can tune in to the rest of the broadcast. Also, of interest is that event of Jason is going to be on the February the 19th, like a 3K event. That distance might be a bit shorter than, I'm not sure how that fits into training, but, you know, if you're interested in the event, it's 150 entry, same as our event. I'm not sure how it fits into your training, but if you have any queries on that event, maybe you can ask Jason. Anyway, thanks, and I'll see you around.
Thank you. Good night.
No. Okay, I'll just take a quick break to get some water, and I'll be right back. Okay, all right, back. So yeah, that ends the first segment of our show, which was an interview with Miss Lany Cardona Adaoag regarding running, long distance running, and a bit about her. Now the second part of the show, but before I start the second part of the show, I will just acknowledge all our people who are tuning in. Has become a tradition on Track Talk. So shout outs to the following: Kelsey Castor, Seth Joe Cruzino, Maria May Blando, Jay Saliers, Jerry Abarquez, Ray Vical, Saku Valdez, Shad Gray, Jason Costuna, Japsy Navor, Jocelyn Eladrurin, Angelo Rodriguez, SEA Games 2 times marathon champion and 10,000 meter national record holder Cristobal Martez Abinoja, Air Force coach Randy McCawis, John Abian, Mary Joy Del Rio, Ernest Pilas, Gonzalo Raymond, and opening up the list is we have a lot of viewers tonight. We have about 40. Rizal Lejano, Rodolfo Leti Jr., something in Chinese or Korean script which I can't read. SEA Games bronze medalist in duathlon mixed relays Paui Funaya, Marvin Aquindi, Robin Navida, Roland Demiras, Meiji, and yeah, so those are our viewers tonight. Okay, so the second part, which involves the actual presentation, which I'll now bring into the big screen. So we've probably got another 30 minutes or so, so this might be a 1 hour and a half presentation tonight. I'll just bring that up. Oh, there we go. Oh, that's all good. Now we'll just... Okay, so PinoyAthletics Speed Talk Sunday after a 1 week hiatus due to me having a cough. Agenda content. So Lany Cardona, we've discussed her. That was our first 40 minutes. We will also discuss Jason Perio's 3K You Just Run virtual event, the Fantasia virtual event, Sprintopia, Ernest Obi and his records, Christina Knott, Eric Cray, Thailand, long distance, phenom Kieran Tintavati, and how to apply ice for athletes. I might not be demonstrating that last one as we're sort of running out of time. That might have to move on to the next session. But anyway, we'll go through. So, yeah, so we interviewed Lany Cardona Adaoag, winner of the PinoyAthletics Talking Chinoy Virtual 5,000 metres for women. 19-minute 13 PB for the 5,000 metres. We'll be joining the virtual 3,000 event You Just Run, hosted by Jason Aperio and the Ilo running community. Now, the You Just Run, hosted by Jason Aperio, endorsed by the fabulous Barefoot Diva of Cebu, will be hosted by Jason Aperio and the Ilo running community. It's 150 Philippine pesos, the same price as it was to enter the virtual, the PinoyAthletics Talking Chinoy virtual 5,000 meters. Entries can be made by Gcash or Palawan Pawn Shop. It shouldn't be Strava, it should be that. There are prizes for the top 3, depending on which amounts will depend on the number of total entries. Contact Jason Aperio on Facebook on entries and how to make the registrations. The deadline of registrations will be February the 16th. So there's another you still have another 9 days to register for Jason's event. 3,000 meters will be the event. So far, we have gathered 15 entries in the women so far. But again, there is 9 more days to increase that number. PinoyAthletics has entered 4 women. We're entering the 5th woman into the event. So the event has to be ran on February the 19th to the 21st. Entries and videos are due. The videos of the runs are due by no later than 8 a.m. on February the 21st, which is a Sunday. Originally, the event was supposed to be hosted on February the 19th only, but it got extended to from Friday to Saturday and Sunday as well on the 20th and the 21st, due to athletes' concerns that they were busy and they needed the weekend to register runs. All details on this event can be found on PinoyAthletics.info. You just run. And for any questions which aren't answered there, please contact Jason Aperio on Facebook. All right, so our next section is on the next section is on the Fantasia virtual meet, which was Pinoy Athletics' third successful virtual event, which ran from January 24th to January 31. It had over 100 entries, and of these 100 entries, we had 80 finishes. The winners of the events were Mark Egesquisa of Baguio, who registered 6.94 seconds in the men's 60, and the women, that event had the most entries. It had about 24 finishes out of 35 entries. Karen Hanario, the winner of our first virtual event, the Pinoy Athletics Women in Sports virtual 60-meter dash for cash, won the 60 meters, improving from 775 to 772. Jericho Ericito took the 300 meters, running 37.11 in Lingayen. Davina Mahusi did the double in 300 and the 1,000 meters. The Palarong Pambansa bronze medalist in 2019 in the 400 meters and the 200 meters. She won the 300 meters in 41.83 on an asphalt airport runway. So she ran that whole 300 meters in a straight line. I mean, I've run 200 meters on grass in a straight line, and it seems like a very long way. So I can't imagine running 300 meters in a straight line. She also stepped up to the 1,000 meters and also took that event in 3 minutes 21. Louis Agawa from 3 minutes 23 rather. Louis Agawa from Baguio won the 1,000 meter event in 2:37. He was able to finish ahead of Alfrense Braza, the Palarong Pambansa 1,500 and 5,000 meter champion, who was the winner of both. Braza was the winner of both the BBGH Run PH 10,000 meter virtual event and the winner of the Pinoy Athletics Talking Chinoy 5,000 meter virtual event. And we have more people tuning in. Awesome. So our next virtual event, apart from supporting Jason Aperio and Iloilo communities, long distance 3,000 meter event, we're now focusing our attention on the shorter events. So Pinoy Athletics is now hosting Sprintopia. Entries are now open and details will soon follow on the website. The event is scheduled for Saturday and Sunday, March the 13th and 14th. Our events will be 100, 200, and 400 for men and women. Oval, please email your name, your event choices, your year of birth, your best time, and the venue or oval you're being used. Now, we do prefer ovals for this event because of the accuracy of the measurements of the distance. However, if you're using if you're not using an oval, we need to be assured that you're using a, as accurate as possible form of measurement, like such as a measuring wheel, in order to, measure out your distances. As per other events, if the performances look doubtful, then we will be asking for a rerun or a repeat of the event. If the distances look doubtful, if the times look doubtful due to, usually the timing is accurate in these events as we're using video software, but usually the issue is the distances. So if the timing is doubtful, if an athlete's running way beyond their personal best, and it leads to doubtful timing, then the video will not be accepted and the athlete would be asked to repeat the run. So there is no entry fee for this event. So no entry fee, no prize money type event, same as the Fantasia meet. Entries can come in now, starting now up until March the 10th. Late entries will absolutely not be accommodated, just the same as in the Fantasia meet and the PinoyAthletics Talking Chinoy meet. Under no circumstances will we accept any late entries, as these events are well publicised, so there is absolutely no reason to enter after March the 10th. So I already have entries at the moment. I've got about 20 entries for this event at the moment. As of now, people are already entering this event, so it's already starting to gain a little bit of steam. But you know, the event's not happening for over a month, so you know, the aim is to get over 100 entries, to get about 120 entries for this event. Would be nice. We got about 110 or so events with 80 athletes actually like participating in the Fantasia meet. All right, so we've got some more people tuning in. So shout out to York Tamayo from Columbus City, the coach of Team Escola Athletics, Zijing Lee, Ronnie Tamayo, and Brian Decido. Right. All right, so now discussing our only Olympic qualifier so far in athletics, Ernest John Obiena. Just a quick summary of how he's started off the year. So he started off the year with a national indoor record of 5.62 meters, breaking his performance from 2017 of 5.43 meters, and finished 5th in a national indoor record. He then improved to a well masterminded win in Berlin the following week, where he won the TAF indoor event in 5.80 meters, again shattering his national indoor record. Now, some quick statistics here. 592 is actually the Asian indoor record, not the 575 that may have been reported by some newspapers. The 592 jump was done by Igor Potopovich of sorry, a bit of a cough, of Kazakhstan, and that was set in 1992 in Dijon, France. So yeah, that may be the next mountain for EJ, that 592 Asian indoor record. So far this year, the top guys in the world, Duplantis just recently cleared 603 meters, and Renard Lavellini, the former world record holder. So Duplantis is the current world record holder. Lavellini is the former world record holder. Cleared 602. So Lavellini's cleared 602 so far this season, which is probably the best performance he's had in the last 4 or 5 years. So Lavellini is also coming back into shape. EJ had an attempt in Berlin at 587, but wasn't able to clear 3 attempts, and he won on countback in 580 from the guy from Germany, who was the bronze medalist behind him at the World University Games. EJ cleared the 580 on his first attempt. The guy from Germany cleared it on the second. They both failed 3 attempts at 587, so EJ won on countback during that meet. Now, EJ's next competition will be at Dortmund, and that will be later tonight. We'll have more details on that later. So he's competing at Dortmund next. So as this international indoor world tour continues. All right, so It's good to see like a lot of viewers tonight enjoying our edition of PinoyAthletics Track Talk. Always a lot of very interesting things to discuss, and a lot of interesting people we meet along the way in the sport. So Jeanette Agura, special shout out to her as well. So the other athlete who's probably the next most likely to qualify for the Olympic Games, or the most likely to qualify for the Olympic Games, considering EJ has already qualified, is Christina Marie Knott. So she also began off 2021 with a very clear message, and that message came through breaking the national indoor record of Lydia Adaoag 4 times in 2 meets, in her first 2 meets of the year. So the 7:37 national record of Lydia Adaoag was set at the 1988 World Championships indoors. Christina, on the 24th of January at the KMS Invite in Alabama, in the heats she equaled the record of Lydia. In the semis she surpassed that record of a 7:33, went on to win the finals and clocked 7:32. On the 31st of January at the American Track League number 2 in Arkansas, Christina Knott finished, she just ran the heats here. She finished second in her heats, but again, she was able to take even more time off that Philippine national indoor record with a 7:26 clocking. So again, with 7:26, now not far off the Asian indoor record of 7 meters 20, which is held by Lang Xiaojing of China, and it was set on the 2nd of February at 2018 at the Asian Indoor Championships. So just another piece of trivia for you there for the athletic community regarding that performance. And next, Eric Sean Cray. No national indoor records yet, but and he's now announced on Instagram that he is done with indoors for the year and now moving to his outdoor season with his attempt to hit that 48.90 standard that he needs to qualify for the Olympic Games in the 400-meter hurdles. So Eric Cray ran 6:75 and 21:67 indoors in Birmingham, Alabama at the KMS Invite, getting 200 meters 21:67 and 400 meters 48:13 at the 48:34 at the KMS Invite on the 24th of January, getting 2 second places. And then on the 31st of January, he ran 6:75 in the heats of the 60 meters, also at the KMS Open in Birmingham, Alabama. In the heats, he ran 6:75. He false started in the semis, so wasn't able to continue, but he topped the times in the heats. In the 400, he clocked 48, I think it was the 48:34, and he finished first overall in the indoor 400. We'll go to the next one. All right, so moving on to the later part of our show, as it is now 9:30 in the Philippines. Or just more shout outs to more people are flooding in tonight there at the end of our show. Brent Panganiban and the Pug, Gus Torpedo, for tuning in. So just a update on the Thai phenom Kiran Titavati, who is at Harvard University in the States. He's a Thai heritage athlete who represents Thailand. He won the SEA Games 5,000 and 10,000 meters in rubber shoes at the 2019 SEA Games. His recent performance on February the 6th, he ran a 3,000 meters in 7:48, breaking in Phoenix, breaking his Thailand national record of 7:49.15 ran last year in Boston. He's also ran a 3:57 for the 1600 meters, which equates to about a 3:43 in this 1500, or at least a 3:44 or 3:43. He can honestly, win 1500, 5K and 10K at the Vietnam SEA Games. Like he won the 5 and the 10, but since no one else is running under 3:50 at the moment in Southeast Asia, he can theoretically step down to that and win that event as well. His teammate Tony Payne, who's the Southeast Asian record holder and also a Thai heritage athlete from New Zealand, living in England, Tony Payne. He's the Southeast Asian record holder in the marathon, PB of 2:16. He wasn't able to finish the marathon in the SEA Games as he had an injury that he was carrying, which flared up during the race. So unfortunately, Tony wasn't able to finish the race. But recently, Tony just ran a 1:09 or a 1:09 half marathon in training, running solo the other day on February the 1st. I checked it out of Strava. Sort of Strava stalked him. So he's running, 3:05 1 kilometer pace by himself, for 21K. Just absolutely crazy. He's run a 1:09 half solo, so definitely that injury seems to be well past him at this point. Okay, and I think so. This is our last part of our show. I was going to demo, but I'll probably have to just demo this last time. So people ask me about applying ice, the correct way to apply ice for athletes, to cope with acute injuries. Firstly, get the ice, crush the ice, so it's in like little fragments. Put it in a plastic bag. So you get a plastic bag and put the fragments of the ice in the bag. Tie the bag up so it doesn't all spill out. And it's important you put it in a plastic bag. You don't put the ice directly on your skin because it's probably going to burn your skin. Place it on the injured muscle. So usually your hamstring's easy to ice. Then tie with a towel to compress. So it's in the bag, the crushed ice is in the bag. You wrap a towel around the bag and then you wrap that compressed around the injured muscle group. Make sure that it's actually getting the cold and the ice is actually getting helping flush out that swelling. Elevate the injured area, so that's to help blood rush through. Put it on, so then apply 10 minutes on, 10 minutes off. 10 minutes on every 3 hours for the first 48 hours. After the 48 hours, the swelling should subside, which should make continued treatment of the injury more manageable. At that point, you can still apply ice every now and again, but it's not usually required every 3 hours to alleviate swelling. At that point, you might want to look at anti-inflammatories, and if the pain is still there, applying moist heat, and also looking at ultrasound and other methods of treating the injury. But usually after 48 hours, you should be okay to jog, depending on how serious the strain is. All right, now I believe that's all we have time for, so I'll just quickly take a few minutes to answer any questions that are put forward to us. Ezekiel Espesanti, shout out also. Okay. So to our 40 or 45 viewers tonight, we'd like to thank you for tuning in. Our next scheduled episode of Track Talk should be on its regular session on Tuesday, depending on my schedule, that is. But if we have enough material, we should be having a Track Talk on Tuesday or Thursday. Usually our Track Talks are held every Tuesdays, Thursdays, either Saturday or Sunday, depending on the amount of material we have to cover. Obviously tonight we had a lot of material because there was a build-up from about a week's worth of missed Track Talk, so we've now gone over an hour. I'll just check to see if I have any queries or questions, and then I will close the talk for this evening. Just a reminder, virtual events coming up that are being supported by PinoyAthletics, GM Ken Sports. Okay, shout out to GM Ken. Okay, so that's like 46 viewers tonight. Yeah, just a reminder about our virtual events that are coming up that we're supporting. February 19 to 21 is Ilo Running Community's virtual You Just Run 3,000 meter event, and the Sprintopia event, which is 1 to 400 from March the 13th to the 24th. Sorry, March the 13th to the 14th. Okay, so that's all we have time for tonight. I do hope you enjoyed our show. Tune in next week for another exciting edition of PinoyAthletics Track Talk. That's all for now. Good night.